미국의 극악무도한 대조선 적대시 정책이 건절되지 않는 한 우리의 핵 개발 중단이나 핵 포기는
You see that? Those white buildings, those hills and fields, that is North Korea. North Korea is the most isolated country in the world. As of 2022, the World Food Program reported that more than 10 million people, about 40% of the population, are undernourished. But what if I told you that some of Korea's most famous dishes actually originated in the north? Before the Korean War in the 50s, Korea has been a unified state for over 1,000 years. Despite North Korea's ongoing food shortages, it doesn't mean that people from the north don't care about their food. The Goguryeo Kingdom, one of the greatest ancient kingdoms in East Asia, located in the present-day North Korea, mastered fermentation. Goryeo, often seen as the first unified dynasty, had its capital in what is now North Korea and brought in and developed dishes enjoyed on both sides of the peninsula. North Korea isn't a culinary desert, but a gastronomic wonderland. In this video, we are going to explore traditional North Korean foods and compare the differences between the food from North and South. Comrade, let's go eat! Well, actually, I'm in South Korea, and it's freaking cold here. But the border is real, and I was there. It was my very first time seeing North Korea, sitting at Starbucks. Although I can go to North Korea, South Korea actually has a lot of North Korean food that was either brought by defectors or by those who fled south during the Korean War. And the first one I'm going to eat is Kaesong mandu. Kaesong is the city currently located in the southernmost part of North Korea, bordering with South Korea. Mandu means Korean dumplings. This restaurant, Kaesong Mandu-kun, was opened by the Kaesong native who escaped to South Korea during the Korean War and has been run by 3 generations since 1970s. The menu is fairly simple. They serve dumpling hot pot, dumpling soup, steamed dumplings. I ordered mandu, which is mandu soup. Compared with the South Korean mandu that I've eaten during this trip, this Kaesong dumpling is huge and packed with so much filling. It feels like it could burst at any moment. This one is meat dumpling and this one is kimchi dumpling. I really enjoy the kimchi dumplings because they have the perfect balance of crunch and chewiness with a burst of flavor in every single bite. The texture of the meat dumplings are nice and comforting, but I think they could use a bit more seasoning to make them stand out more. Kaesong, once the capital of the Goryeo dynasty for nearly 500 years, was where Korea's distinct culture and identity began to take shape. It was also during this time that mandu began its journey into Korean cuisine. Before mandu arrived, Korea's diet was largely vegetarian because Buddhism was the state religion. While the Mongol introduced meat-filled mandu, traditional mandu continued to feature vegetable-based fillings, especially in the northern region. This likely explains why Kaesong mandu uses minimal seasoning and focuses on the natural taste of its ingredients. In contrast, all the other mandu I had in South Korea taste bolder, more savory, sometimes spicy, and often favor meat-based fillings. Actually, this contrast isn't limited to mandu. South Korean cuisine is much bolder and spicier than its North Korean counterpart, even before the Korean War. Why is that? Is it because North Korea faces food shortages and that's why its ingredients are simpler and its seasoning is lighter? Well, not quite. But before we get into that, I want to try another North Korean delicacy that's originated in Kaesong. You have to know that Kaesong cuisine is frequently compared to Seoul cuisine and Jeolla cuisine because of how good it is. And one of its famous dishes is Bossam kimchi. Kimchi is the most well-known Korean food. And I always thought it was just a spicy, delicious, fermented napa cabbage. But it actually has many varieties and has been eaten in so many different ways. Bossam kimchi, meaning wrapped kimchi, is a luxury dish from Kaesong, served to royal court during the Goryeo and Joseon dynasties. It uses a whole napa cabbage to wrap and neatly tie a complex stuffing. It is luxury because it uses high-quality Kaesong cabbage, and the stuffing includes a variety of ingredients such as oyster, baby octopus, chestnuts, pears, ginseng, and many other items. It is a super fancy and elegant dish that requires a lot of preparation. So I'm on my way to find a restaurant that serves Bossam kimchi, But apologies, guys, that I wasn't able to find a restaurant that served the Kaesong style Bossam kimchi, but the modern day styles that serve in South Korea. The modern day Bossam kimchi features thinly sliced boiled pork, typically pork belly, and kimchi with spicy radish salads on top, napa cabbage leaves, and fermented shrimp sauce. It still follows the concept of wrapped, but instead of being pre-wrapped like the original version, you wrap everything yourself. The shift and evolution began in the Joseon period, where Buddhism was replaced by Confucianism as the state ideology. Boiled pork and other protein-rich elements entered the royal courts and noble families' dining tables, transforming the dish from a preparatory method into a standalone meal. I didn't get a chance to try the Kaesong version, but this Bossam kimchi meal set was one of the best meals I had in Korea. The boiled pork is incredibly soft and tender. The kimchi is watery, crispy, with a nice sweetness. The radish pickle salad on top is crunchy, spicy, and tangy. And finally, the salty, umami-packed shrimp sauce. Altogether, it created this beautiful, delicious, delightful, and explosive burst of flavor and texture in every single bite. As you can see, North Korean food could be really fancy and taste funky. But why does the food from the South taste bolder and stronger? In 1392, Joseon rose to power, overthrowing Goryeo, moving the capital to modern-day Seoul and maintaining a strong relationship with China. However, one day in the 16th century, a Japanese lord wanted to conquer China, so he asked Joseon for help. But Joseon refused, which quickly heated up the situation and resulted in a full-blown 8-year Japanese invasion of Joseon. And that's when the chili pepper made its way to the Korea peninsula. Chili peppers originated in the Americas but later arrived in Japan through Portuguese trades and then spread to Korea during invasions. Because it grows so easily in warmer climates, South Korea, especially the coastal areas, became the main cultivation region for centuries. That's why people from the South are obsessed with chili peppers and tend to make their dishes taste bolder and stronger. The other good example is naengmyeon, the famous cold noodle. There are many places in South Korea where you could try naengmyeon, the cold noodle. You might think this is a summer dish, but in fact, it's traditionally a winter dish. Naengmyeon originally comes from North Korea, and the traditional version features a clear broth with buckwheat noodles, topped with a slice of cucumber, radish, beef, and a boiled egg. It is not spicy at all. The historical text Donggu Seksiji described naengmyeon as a winter delicacy from northern Korea that has been made since the Joseon period. It may sound a bit odd, but once you check out the broth ingredients, it is pretty easy to see why it is a winter dish. The broth is made from donchimi, a type of water kimchi that ferments slowly and tastes best when it's cold. Also, buckwheat and radish were easy to get in winter, and ice was only around the colder months before the fridge existed. So when you think about it, it makes total sense that naengmyeon started out as a winter dish. I'm currently in Busan, and Busan actually has its own unique version of cold noodles, Busan milmyeon. Busan milmyeon was born during the Korean Wars when North Korean refugees fled south. After settling in Busan, they wanted to make naengmyeon, but it's very hard to get buckwheat, as buckwheat doesn't grow in the south. That's why they use wheat flour for the noodles, as the US has provided abundantly after the Korean War. Milmyeon is short for mil naengmyeon, which literally means sweet cold noodle. We visited a milmyeon restaurant near Busan Station, Hwangsan Milmyeon, which was established by the North Korean refugee Kim Chan-sik, who fled the north at a young age. Longing for his homeland and his lost family, Kim opened a restaurant and named it Hwangsan, one from North Korea's Hwanghae province and some from Busan. The milmyeon has a beautiful amber color and is generously garnished. Because it tasted super delicious, I actually ordered 2 types, one with the red sauce and the other without. I thought it would taste plain just by looking at a clear broth, but I was wrong. It is incredibly rich and refreshing. That's because it is made by simmering beef and pork bones with vegetables, herbs, and even fruits like pears and apples for many hours. It is the perfect combination of sweetness, tanginess, umami, and the crispiness and fruitiness of pear and cucumber. The chewiness of the noodle just makes me want to eat non-stop. And if you add a spicy sweet sauce made with gochujang, it will add a spicy kick and take the noodle soup to another level. In the restaurant, there's a hand-drawn map of Kim's hometown, Yongbak. Kim had longed to return to his hometown,
but he never could before he passed away. As I eventually reached the border between North and South, I could finally touch Kim's sadness and nostalgia, something I could never truly grasp from TV or propaganda. You can see North Korea very clearly from the Akibon Peace Park on the South Korea side. It is a serene place, where a quiet sadness drifts across the river. North Korea is less than a mile away, close enough that you could paddle across, yet the people have been separated for more than 70 years. Though many North Koreans who fled the war may never return, their wish for peace remains. As we witness the growing conflicts and rising tensions around the world, and as these years come to a close, I too hope for peace. May there be no more separation and no more loss. Happy New Year, everyone, and see you next year.